Now this time you have minus in front and then some shifting. So we're going to start from y equals 2 to the x, and then we're going to apply the shift. We're going to apply that minus first. Now if there's a minus in front of the function, I like to do it first, and then I want to think about its shifting. So let's figure out these graphs. This, as before, is this y-intercept 1 and horizontal asymptote right on the x-axis. Now what does the minus do? All the values are negated, so instead of being a positive value, it becomes a negative value, so it gives you a flip over the x-axis. So from here to there, it's a reflection over the x-axis. So you end up with this graph. Still, the horizontal asymptote is on the x-axis because if you flip this over, it stays, right? And then, what does this do? This moves 2 steps right and 1 step up. This plus 1 makes it go up by 1. This minus 2 makes it move 2 to the right. So this point here, should be negative 1 because it became negative. This point here, which was 0, negative 1, now moves 2 steps right and 1 step up. So that's going to be actually an x-intercept. This is 2, 0. Right? Okay. So we're going to have 1, 2, 2, 0. And then because everything went up by 1, you have a new the new horizontal asymptote at 1, and the graph would be, it should look the same. It looked like that, so it should still look the same. And it's advised that you also write down the y-intercept. To get the y-intercept, you plug in 0, right? So you would plug in 0, and you get negative 2 to 0, negative 2 plus 1. Negative 2 to negative 2 plus 1. Well, negative power means 1 over. So this is negative 1/4 plus 1. 1 minus 1/4 is 3/4. So this point right here is 3/4. And that's the graph. Okay. Now, I think in the previous example, I forgot to state the domain and range. A lot of these questions, if you see it on the exam, you'll be asked to find the domain and range. So let's try to find the domain and range for this question. First, for the domain, there's no square root, there is no denominator, there's none of that. So this has no restriction for the domain. Domain is all reals. On the other hand, for the range is the height, right? It can go down, 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 no problem. And if you try to go up, well, 1 is like the barrier. You cannot go beyond 1, right? So what you have is from negative infinity to positive 1, and 1 is not included. So this is what you get for the domain and range. So if the question was to find the graph of this and find the domain and range, these are the answers, and that's the answer for the graph.